For sure.
Okay. I know you're at 130, right? But if the right fight presented itself, would you consider maybe a big fight at 35 if the money was right?
Most definitely, the money was right. If there's a championship on the line, because those belts are freeing up.
Yeah, they are.
Definitely, for sure. I'm not a super small 130 pounder.
Yeah.
135, I'll definitely be filled out, everything like that. So I definitely would jump up to 35 and crush someone's dreams.
Okay, because with you being in the DMV and you betting on yourself, if you show that value as not just in the ring, but as an attraction, you might, who knows, maybe you might get a call from Tank or something.
For sure. Tank's my guy too, man. I appreciate him shouting me out after the win. And you know what's crazy? After he beat Hector, I told him,
James Turner for the untouchable, true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents Something the Boxing Game's Missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I'm about to go talk about this on the live here very shortly. But by the time you guys see this, I will have already done the live. But I had to come here and give my thoughts on Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. It's a fight that I'm not surprised is happening. It's funny because I had the blessing and the honor to interview Lamont Roach last December at the WBA convention in Orlando, Florida. And now this December, he's going to fight Tank Davis. And last December, I was asking him about fighting Tank Davis. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if the right person saw that interview and they made the offer. But yeah, I was talking about it last year, as you guys saw in the beginning of this video. But let me just talk about the fight because a lot of people are shitting on it. And you know what? Rightfully so. Boxing fans... Let me tell people out this. Anybody who's getting mad at boxing fans shitting on Tank versus Lamont Roach, you are very out of touch with reality. Boxing fans should 1000% be shitting on Tank versus Lamont Roach. Now, me personally, I don't think it's the worst fight he's ever had. This isn't Hugo Ruiz. This isn't Jesus Cuellar. I don't even think this is as bad as Hector Garcia because, we know Lamont Roach beat Hector Garcia. Lamont Roach is a bigger fighter than Tank. Lamont Roach is a big 130 pounder. Lamont Roach is a guy that in his career, I know he's fought at 135. I know he's even fought at 140 at times. He's a big fighter for 130. And so I know the history of his career, so I know it's not a bad fight. And plus, Lamont Roach is a very competent professional. He's a world champion. So Tank could have did a lot worse. And then, another reason why I'm not really as mad as I probably should be about this fight is because look at the 135. All the big names you guys want to see Tank in the ring with, they're not available. Like Teofimo Lopez is having issues with Top Rank. He just turned down a fight, a Top Rank main event fight that he had offered to him, because it was on a Friday, not a Saturday. So he's got things he's got to work out with Top Rank and his career. That's one. And then, we know that the Devin Haney's suing Ryan Garcia in a lawsuit, right? Tank already beat Ryan Garcia in a fight where, Ryan was weight drained, right? So, and if they fight again, he's not going to fight him at 140 because Ryan's too damn big. So, the rematch is out of the question and nobody's really asking for that. And then Shakur Stevenson signed with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, and then he broke his hand and was supposed to fight Joe Cordina. And when he comes back, he's going to fight Williams Pena because he's got a 2-fight deal with Eddie Hearn. So with that being said, Gervonta Davis, realistically speaking, just being honest, he can't fight none of those big names. Now, he could have fought like an Edwin De Los Santos. That would have sufficed. But again, Edwin De Los Santos would have been a cool fight. But, the Lamont Roach fight might be a little more interesting than the Edwin fight, only because they know each other. They're from Baltimore, DMV area. We know Lamont Roach is going to come to win. And, Lamont Roach has shown in his career, he showed it against Hector when he fought him for the title and beat him, that he can fight in the pocket. He showed in his last fight against the very overmatched Fergal McCrory that he can fight in the pocket. So, I don't know how long this fight lasts. Really and truthfully, Lamont Roach is outgunned in every department. He's not faster than Tank. He don't hit harder than Tank. I don't think his IQ is as high as a Tank either. I really don't. I actually don't even see anywhere where Lamont Roach is better than Tank. So it is what it is exactly what it looks like on paper. It's a mismatch. It's a fight where even if it's not a mismatch, maybe mismatch is a bit disrespectful because I do think Lamont Roach has ability. I think he can fight. So I'm not going to say it's a mismatch, but I will say it's a fight where, Tank is going to be a big favorite. And the only way I'll be okay with this fight, like 100%, is if the fine folks at PBC do this fight the right and proper way. And the right and proper way to do this fight is to give back to the fans, the great boxing fans of the DMV area, the Baltimore area, the DC area, and bring the fight there for the hometown fans there. And don't put it on pay-per-view either. This is not a pay-per-view fight. Lamont Roach is not very well known to most boxing fans. You got to really be a hardcore boxing fan to know who Lamont Roach is. Even though he's a champion, his profile isn't the biggest because he's never really been in a big fight at that level. Even when he fought Jamal Herring, that was on the undercard of a Navarrete card, right? So this is the biggest fight he's ever been in. This one right here. He's never been in anything remotely close to this in terms of profile. So people don't know Lamont Roach like that. And if people don't know who a fighter is and you put it on pay-per-view, naturally it's going to get pushback. Naturally it's going to get criticism no matter how good the fighter is, because pay-per-view is supposed to be reserved for special fights, 50-50 fights, momentous occasions. But the market's been saturated in the boxing powers that be have been price gouging the fans for a long time. And I'm sure this will be on pay-per-view. So that's already going to get it out on the wrong foot with me. And then now I'm hearing that it's going to be in Houston, which I don't agree with, because this is not a fight that you put on the West Coast. With all respect to the boxing fans in Texas and Vegas and all the fans on the West Coast, this is not a West Coast fight. This is an East Coast fight. This is a DMV fight. And if you don't put this fight like in the DC or Baltimore area, okay, then this is like a Barclays Center fight, So, that's where it should have been. Somewhere on the East Coast where the DMV area can make the trip to the fight or put it in the DMV area. So either Barclays Center or Capital One Arena where the Wizards and Capitals play. That should have been where this fight is at. But now we're here in Houston. So I think right now it's on track to not be done the way it should be done if you're going to do this fight. But this fight is a microcosm of boxing today, particularly here in America. Like, we've seen so many of these fights over the years where guys in another weight class jump up and get granted permission to go up another weight class. They never fought and fight a big name. Most of the time, they don't even come to fight and win. Like think of Jermell Charlo against Canelo or Mikey Garcia against Earl Spence. These are guys that left their weight class, right? In some cases, as the champion, lost and was able to come back and still fight, as champion in that weight class again. So for the Lamont Roach side of things, all he has to do to get any sort of respect in this fight is just come to fight. Like, literally, like, don't do what Edgar Berlanga did against Canelo. Like, actually try to win. Actually come to fight. And if he can have a couple good moments along the way that people can hold on to, a couple big shots that he can land on Tank, then that's gonna raise his stock and raise his profile. But more than likely, I don't ever want to rule out a fighter winning a fight that he's not supposed to win. But more than likely he's not gonna win this fight, and it's gonna continue to perpetuate the narrative that Gervonta Davis is fighting fighters that are overmatched, that are not on his level, right? And I would have liked to see, personally for me, I think it should have been Edwin De Los Santos. Why? Because the legacy-defining fight for Gervonta Davis at this moment in time is Shakur Stevenson. Edwin De Los Santos is a common opponent of Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is the only guy to defeat Edwin De Los Santos. So I think Edwin De Los Santos would have been a better opponent than Lamont Roach, and he also would have been a better opponent than Raul Valenzuela, who was also rumored to be in the running for this fight, because he beat Raul Valenzuela. So he's a dangerous southpaw power puncher with both hands. I think that fight would have been a shootout for as long as it lasted. And it would have actually, at least Tank's going to be a favorite over all these guys because Tank's just of that caliber, he's of that ability. But, like, at least in that fight with Edwin De Los Santos, there's that chance where I'm like, you know what, De Los Santos, I don't think he's got all the tools Tank has, but, if they get into an exchange and he lands the right way, he has that kind of fight-changing punching power to where it could be exciting if he comes to win. Lamont Roach is not really a big puncher even at his own weight class, let alone 35, so I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of the fight. I would be a fan of the fight if they did it in the DMV area. I would be a fan of the fight if it wasn't on pay-per-view, but I already know it's going to be on pay-per-view because Tank fights are always on pay-per-view, and PBC is not going to not put it on pay-per-view because Tank is the guy that is carrying that company by on his shoulders, and you know, so they have to get as much money and extract as much money out of Tank as humanly possible. So the only way to do that is to put it behind a paywall and have that pay-per-view upside, and pay-per-view generates more money. So I get why they're putting on pay-per-view. I just don't think that this is a pay-per-view worthy fight. And I think this is the one time for Tank where you got to actually do the right thing. You got to put it in the DMV area, all right? Get back to those fans over there. You know, I'm sure it'll sell out. Like he fought Hector Garcia at the in the DMV area. Why not fight Lamont Roach? You know, a fighter from the DMV area in the DMV. You know, that would have made more sense. But you know, I don't love the fight because I know it's not going to be done properly. I know Lamont Roach is pretty much outgunned in every department. Like he can't punch harder than Tank. He's not faster than Tank. I don't think he's a better boxer than Tank. I don't think his defense is better than Tank. I don't think he's more athletic. I literally can't pick out one thing that Lamont Roach does better than Tank. But Lamont Roach is a good, credible fighter. He has gotten better and steadily improved over the years after the loss to Jamal Herring. But he's not on Tank's level, and that's just calling a spade a spade. And yeah, I think PBC dropped the ball on this one. I think this would have been the perfect time to do Edwin De Los Santos, a guy that's a common opponent with Shakur Stevenson. That would have drummed up a lot more interest for their potential fight, maybe in 2025 or 2026. But what do I know? I'm just a kid from Dania who loves boxing, who's been talking in front of this camera for many, many years here on True School Sports. So I'll have more layered thoughts on this on my live. This will come out after my live. So if you haven't seen my live and you see this video, go back and watch my live. There's going to be more layered thoughts on this, and if you don't catch the live, then wait for me to clip the segments, and you know, I'll have the key points of the live in a video. But yeah, I want to know from you guys. I want to check the temperature of the box fans. What do you guys think about Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Davis? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.